This right here is the all-new Viltrox 28mm f4.5 Pancake Lens, and it is literally the smallest lens, APS-C, full frame, or whatever like that I have ever used or seen. It is incredibly thin, and it is literally as thin as a lens cap. So it's really crazy. But this like combination right now with my Sony ZV-E1, which is roughly the same size as the Sony a7C II or the a7CR, this is truly a pocketable camera. I know there are other pancake lenses out there, but this is like even smaller than that. But it's cool because it does have also this little slidey little lens cap thing that you can just kind of open it and close it, and it's just super small. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you about, I'm going to be sharing with you some sample photos, share with you some sample videos, and I'll tell you what I didn't like about the lens, what I do like about the lens. And hopefully by the end of this video, it'll help me decide whether this is going to be right for you or not. Full disclosure, I paid for this lens by myself, so no one's asked me to make this video. And this is not a detailed spec pixel peeper type video. So it's more about usability and generally, does it work on a day-to-day basis? I'm not going to be like it's clearly not going to be a professional level lens that you'd use, but it's definitely a very intriguing lens for someone who just wants to travel or carry something really light, go around with their family, document their life. And I'm just here to answer you and tell you my kind of, share with you my experience about whether this lens is great or not. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Desi Cheng. I post 1 to 2 times per week, and I primarily focus on bags and gear related to travel, EDC everyday carry, as well as photography. Some quick basic information about this. It retails for about $99 US, and you can get it on sale whenever it goes on sale. And it is only 60 grams in weight. Insane. Next up, I'm just gonna quickly share with you some sample photos that I took with this lens. And now here's a quick little video montage that I took with this camera and lens combo.
Why not? Why? Why? The video. Hi, Jakey.
And now let's get into the dislikes I have about this lens. So I think the main thing is that the autofocus is not very good. I mean, I feel like, yes, it could probably get updated by firmware to improve the autofocus, but at this current point in time, the autofocus is probably one of the worst compared to to my Sony lenses that I have. I found that like when you are trying to focus on something closer in distance. Like for example, if I was taking photos of food, with my other lenses, I would just tap to focus and I would have no major issues there. However, when I tried to tap to focus on my screen, I was having a very difficult time tapping to focus. And I know it did not have to do with the minimal focus distance. It was just, I don't know, it was just frustrating at times. I think that was kind of like the main concern, was the autofocus isn't great. But here's what I do have to say about this. Coming from, I do own Fujifilm and other systems as well. And now over the past like 4 years, autofocus of Sony and Canon have been, they're at the top of the game. They are 10 out of 10. So for me to say that this autofocus sucks on this lens, you're kind of saying like, oh, okay, now it's as good as Fujifilm. Maybe Fujifilms are a little bit better than that. But I mean, it still will do the job. On an everyday basis, it will do the job. Is it perfect? No. Jumping onto my other negative point about it, there's only one other small negative, was just this toggle to toggle the lens cap from open and closed. Whenever I found that I put it into my camera bag or sling or anything like that, I would always constantly bump it. So when I took the camera out, it would just be like, it's already open even though I tried to close it. So it would have been nice if they kind of made this little switch thing just a little bit more tactile and a little bit less easy to kind of accidentally bump around. Now, which kind of leads me into what I do like about this lens. What I do like about it is that it's so tiny and small. Like, this is a full frame camera, and this is probably my smallest combination that I have. It's smaller than my Fujifilm X100VI. Or actually, is it? Let's do a quick test. So before this lens came out, the actually smallest combination of anything I had was the Fujifilm X100VI, which I absolutely love. I just love the whole retro styling of it, and I like how small it is. However, with this combo in play, it is actually the Sony ZV-E1 combo is, is actually a smidge smaller, a tiny little bit smaller than the Fujifilm, even when I take off this little lens hood. I know I do have the leather grip on, which kind of adds something to it, but I don't think I would ever take it off, and I'd always keep it like this combo. The other thing I'm actually going to test is just the weight. Let's see here. So this combination right here is 564 grams. I feel like the Fujifilm might beat this, because when I put this on, it's 622 grams. So yes, the this combination is 100% smaller than this combination. So on that note of just it being so much smaller, it is a huge thing, because some people, they don't mind taking a camera around. For me, I actually don't like taking my camera, my professional camera or anything like that around, and it kind of deters me. And so, like, most of the times when I'm out with my friends or even just my family, I'm literally just shooting everything on my iPhone because it's just so small and simple. And I just never bring my Sony a7 IV, a7R5, Nikon ZF. Those things are huge, and I just never really want to bring those around. However, this one is a little bit more palatable in the sense that, yeah, I can see myself bringing it around, putting it into a little sling bag or something, or it does fit into a jacket pocket. So this kind of encourages me to shoot a little bit more, because I'm bringing my camera out to a few more places, as opposed to me, not bringing my camera out. One of the really cool things I really like about this camera, or this lens, is that it's so pocketable. I can just shove into my jacket pocket, and I can use one finger to essentially open up that little lens cap thing, and then just do everything with one hand. It's very, very lightweight. And then when I'm done with it, I can just kind of quickly just slide that little lens cap closed, and then just shove it back into my pocket. No need for a sling, camera bag, or strap. So let's wrap this video up. This lens is good because it's so small, but there's a bunch of sacrifices such as autofocus and things like that. However, I feel like, if you're just photographing like your family and things like that, it's good enough. It's on a full frame body, so you're gonna get really good image quality out of it. Is it the best optically? Meh, not really. But it just does the job. And at 28 millimeters, I find that it's a good focal length. I mean, a lot of people, they say they'd love to have the 35 millimeter focal length, but sometimes, I want to capture the environment. I want to capture, maybe this restaurant I'm in the ambience and maybe the decor. So 35 millimeters is actually not wide enough. And so I kind of like the 28 millimeter. And yeah, so 28 millimeter, I find is totally fine. And also if you're putting on like the Sony ZV-E1 or something like that, and you are vlogging, yeah, I mean, it's actually like, it's not that close up and it's wide enough. I do like it. And not even just vlogging, but let's say that you're with your wife or your girlfriend or whoever like that, and you just want to do a selfie. This is wide enough to fit 2 people in it. Whereas when you're shooting with 35 millimeter, it's a little bit too tight. So anyways, you're wondering if you should get this lens or not. I think for this price, at that price point at $100 US, it's kind of like one of those lenses that you just kind of toss around in your bag, and it's not going to increase the weight of your bag or anything or take up much space. So yes, I do 100% think that it is worth it to buy, and I do hope that they improve the firmware later on. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and definitely don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Desi31.